And there were four. College football playoff semifinals is tonight. The Notre Dame Irish against the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Who's going to get it done? Well, we're going to find out today what best bets I'm taking because you know what? You know I've got some action on the game. This is the free three. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video. I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day. I would just try to get to the bag together and make that money. So I do appreciate each and every one of you guys who have been tapping into the channel here as we've been updating our format. We've been doing streams. We've been going a little bit longer. But what I really want to do, and bear with us, guys, because I'm trying to figure it all out, right? Because I want to give us the best of both worlds. I want to do the old video like I used to do, just where I'm giving you guys a quick 3 plays over the course of 5 to 10 minutes. And then I do want to be able to have more open conversations, answer questions, and things like that as well. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do like the first 15 minutes of stream as though like I am just going through and producing a video where I'm just talking about what my 3 main best bets of the day are. And then from there, I'm going to stop the stream and then we're going to hop back in. And then that's where I'll go for 15, 30, 45 minutes longer, kind of diving into the slate, talking more about plays, answering questions, getting community picks, doing a parlay, things of that nature, okay? So because the way that we're going to kind of separate the show between a stream and a show in the podcast, what I'm going to do is when we do our recaps, we're going to recap basically how we did with the show and then how we did with the stream as well, all right? Yesterday, it was a slaughterhouse. I'm not going to lie for you guys. We did not do too well here on the show. Let me pull up the slate real quickly here because I added a few extra plays. You can follow us at an Action Network on the at Noble Living on the Action Network here. Yesterday you could see it was a bad day. Not all time. Let's go to the last 7 days. Look at our 7-day streak. It's been beautiful, but we took a big dip yesterday. A 1-8 day that we had yesterday when we included some of the added picks. Let's go through it real fast here. I thought the day was going to be good. Why? Because we started off with Florida State picking up an easy plus money win against Miami. But UConn, guys, oh, what a frustrating game. UConn missed 2 free throws from one of their best free throw shooters. I could not even believe it, right? And they were down by 1. The 2 free throws would have put them up, and they lost. They missed the 2 free throws. They lost by 2 points, so we lose that. Then go to our parlay of the day. So I gave you guys the 3-leg parlay, and we did the 5-leg for extra juice. You can see we went 4 out of 5. Our only loss was the Dayton Flyers, and that's a big concern because that's 2 straight losses for Dayton. I thought after they lost by 20 points at George Washington, they were going to bounce back against a UMass team that wasn't too good. Well, it hurt us. So that's one of the money line lays that kind of hurt over the last few days. That's back-to-back days where it did not come through for us, but we're going to bounce back, all right? So our 2-3 main best bets lost, and then we also had taken Oklahoma on the money line. They blew the lead late. They had multiple chances to win the game. So it was just a very, very tough day for us. And then I added a few NBA player props, and you can see we just full faded. So it was a very, very rough day for us here on the channel yesterday. So that's why I mentioned the way that I'm going to be doing the format here is separating the stream from the free 3, because yesterday we really went 1-2 here on the channel, not 1-8, right? Well, some of the added plays that I put on throughout the day is what really hurt us. So for me, I'm going to track everything that we take, stream everything here on the Action Network. So follow us at Noble Living on that. But then also, we're going to do like a separate tally for just the free 3 for the podcast listeners on Spotify, Apple Music, and everything of that nature, all right? That's like a little quick recap of how we did yesterday. Let's talk about the national championship. I'm done yapping. We've got 4 teams left, and 2 of them face off tonight, and it's going to be a beautiful kind of just weekend of football. We've got football today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. We've got playoffs, Monday night, playoff football in the NFL. So we've got about 4 or 5 days to really get to the bag. So for me, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to bet some of the marquee matchups. Come over to the stream when we get done with the recording if you want to hear a few other college basketball plays and leans. Today, I've got 2 best bets in the college football playoff, really 3 for you guys, and then 1 college basketball best bet for you for the free 3 show today, all right? Let's talk about Notre Dame and Penn State. Who's going to get it done? It's you guys are not new to sports betting. Shout out to all the people who've been watching the show, like Ron, like Nick. You guys are not new to this game. So because of that, you understand Penn State, you know James Franklin, you know the struggles that he's had. Every handicapper, every YouTuber, every Twitterverse person out there is going to tell you about how Penn State folds against top 10 opponents, especially top 5 opponents, and we've seen James Franklin do that over and over and over again. Well, why would this time be any different? I don't know. I'm being honest with you. I don't know. Because I have faith in James Franklin. I'm a big James Franklin fan. I've supported him from his days at Vanderbilt. And the thing about James Franklin, if there was a season, if there was a time where they were going to get the victory, get the win, it's this season. Why? Because this bracket was literally built for them to be able to come into the semifinals, not rested. Obviously, they have to play games. They're still dealing with an injury to one of their star defensive linemen in Carter, even though I do think that he plays today. So it wasn't just a walk in the park, but let's just be honest. SMU, Boise State, those are the 2 teams, truthfully, out of all 12 that you really wanted to face off against. And from there, you handle business. And now you face a Notre Dame team that, even though they've won many games in a row, they show vulnerability losing to a Northern Illinois team way earlier in the season. So what is at stake here is not just a spot in the national championship game, but also legacies on the line for not only Marcus and Notre Dame, but for James Franklin and Penn State. So when I look at this game, I have to lean on what both of these teams do best. And that is defensive football. And that is run the ball. And when you look at kind of both of these teams here in the semifinals, both of them really were strong defensively. When you look at Notre Dame, this is one of the top pass defenses in all of college football, right? They gave up 17 points to Indiana, the top scoring football offensive team, and then 10 points to Georgia. Yes, I know Georgia had a backup quarterback, and yes, they kind of maybe did not help him out so much with the way that they drew up the game plan, but Notre Dame's defense, let's give them credit. They created turnovers. They were causing a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Stockton is a dual threat quarterback, which is even more to game plan for, and they're giving up just 13.6 points per game, which is second best in all of college football behind Ohio State. Now, keep in mind, Nittany Lions for Penn State gave up 10 points to SMU, which was a high-flying offense, and 14 points to Boise State, especially Aston Genti, and that's the Heisman runner-up. That's 2 defenses. Nittany Lions are 7th best scoring defense, only 15.8 points per game. So you guys can kind of see where I'm going here. Instead of just saying who's going to win, who's going to lose, why don't we just look at the total here? And why don't we go under 45.5 as our first best bet of the day? So let me pull up the screen real quickly for you guys here, and let's take a look here at our odds screen. We're going to go to the college football slate. Zoom in just a little bit for you. Whoops, maybe a little bit too much. And let's go to Notre Dame, Penn State, and we're just going to go down to the total, 45.5. And I lean under here, and we're going to go under 45.5. We know what both of these teams can do offensively. We know how strong Jeremy Love is for Notre Dame. We know what their quarterback likes to do in terms of not just run the ball, but he can throw it a little bit as well, but he's a real dual threat running back quarterback. And then we know on the other side for Penn State with Allard, we know they've got the receivers, but this is one of those things that we've seen in big games where Penn State just can't really get it done and get over the hump. I think this is the season, and I have faith in them. So because of that, the other angle that I'm going to go in this game is a teaser. I'm going to go plus 1.5, and I'm going to go under here. And that's a 6-point teaser. And the beautiful part in college football is you can do a 6-point teaser at minus 105, minus 110 odds. So if I expand this out a little bit, we're going to take Penn State up to plus 7.5. Just go over one possession. And then we're going to go under 51.5, buy ourselves a little bit more insurance on the under there. If you want to take the over and hedge the other side, I mean, I'm not opposed to that, but I just don't think that's the best route to go. And the reason why I say that is because this is a game that could literally finish 10-7, in all honesty. 14-7. The weather down in Miami is expected to be a little bit windy. It's not like, out of control, but it's just one of those things that, it could be a factor. And when you keep in mind that Abdul Carter should be playing in this game and that Notre Dame's passing attack is not their strength, running the ball is going to use up more clock. And if you're using up more clock, we get a more lower scoring affair. Riley Leonard for Notre Dame, he only had 90 passing yards in the previous game. 90. That's not going to get it done. But running the ball, if we don't have any huge touchdowns, or a 98-yard kickoff return like we saw in the semifinals of Notre Dame, this game goes under. So we're locking in those two best bets in the college football playoff. I do lean Penn State on the money line. I do think they win the game. They are the better team, and they just have the more experience, but we know James Franklin. That's why I'm teasing this game. I know some people say don't tease college football, but I think it's a one-possession game, but under 45.5. That is the play of the day. And the prize pick or the player prop that I really like as well, if you guys are wanting to take a player prop, Riley Leonard over 11.5 rushing attempts. I think that this defensive line for Penn State, which is their strength, that's really why they get the pressure that they do. That's why teams don't run on them as much or have a lot of success running the ball on them as much, is what's going to cause Riley Leonard to really get out. I see some options, and him keeping it and keeping, Jeremy Love in the middle. If it's clogged up, him taking it and running. I don't want to take the rushing yards just because in college football, keep in mind that the sacks count towards your rushing yards. So for me, Riley Leonard over 11.5 rushing attempts, minus 125 odds. That is the bonus pick or player prop for you guys in the college football semifinals. So what are we going to go? It's 3 best bets for tonight, Notre Dame and Penn State. We're going to go under 45.5. We're going to go Riley Leonard over 11.5 rushing attempts. And then we also got the teaser, all right? Last best bet of the day. Let's go here to the card real fast. And we're going to go take a look at college basketball. Now, I know college basketball hasn't been treating us too nice over the last few days, but we're going to bounce back. And I don't want to get too cute with it. I was thinking about doing a money line parlay again today, but there's just some games that'll look a little wacky for me. And if you want to hear my leans, like in this Rutgers Purdue game, make sure you guys tune in for another, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so later for the stream. So I'm going to literally end the stream after I give you guys this last best bet, and then we're going to hop back it right in, and then we can talk a little bit more about games and go through the board like game by game a little bit, all right? So I'm going to go to this North Florida and Eastern Kentucky game. And I bet these are two teams that you guys have not ever watched or even paid attention to. But this is a system play for me. And the reason why that is, if we scroll all the way down here, I love the Action Network because they give us a lot of valuable insight about some of these teams, especially against the number. And one thing that I'm going to be looking at right here is this right here. North Florida this year to the over-under. They're 12-2. They're 5-1 at home, 7-1 on the road. They're 5-0 as a favorite and 6-2 as an underdog. Well, they're facing an Eastern Kentucky team that's also very strong to the over. 9-4 to the over, 2-1 at home to the over, 3-1 as a favorite. Well, let's go back to the line real quickly and see what we're looking at. Eastern Kentucky, they're 2.5 point favorites, at home today against Northern Florida. Now you can see the lines already move significantly from 168.5 to 171.5, and I think it continues to move higher. But instead of looking at the total in this game just from the total both teams perspective, why don't we go down to the individual teams, and why don't we just isolate this one to Northern Kentucky, and let's go with their team total over 86.5 minus 120 odds. And the reason why I'm going to take this is, let's go to team rankings real fast and take a look at these two teams. I want to look at points per game. Well, North Florida, if we come here, is 58th in points per game. So you're like saying, Noble, that's not like top 5. That's not top 10. So why would you take it? Well, let's go to KenPom real quickly. And you can see North Florida, they are 18th in all of college basketball in tempo and pace. So not many teams play faster. They're 53rd in offensive possession length. And they don't turn over the ball too much, 27th. But this is the thing. They're third, right? You can see, and 3-point attempts and field goal attempted per game. And if we go back to team rankings here real fast, to field goals attempted per game, only St. John's attempts more field goals per game than North Florida. So what does that tell me? They play really, really fast. And if North Florida plays fast, they normally speed up their opponent in Eastern Kentucky. So even though Eastern Kentucky is not a team that's really known for playing fast, I still like the fact that they're top 130, top 150 in tempo themselves. But let's dive a little bit deeper. It's one thing to play fast, but it's another thing to play fast and not play any defense. And that's what North Florida does. 350th in defensive efficiency. Keep in mind, there's only only 363 D1 teams. So if they're 350, if they're bottom 15 in terms of defensive efficiency, look at some of their recent opponents. They give up 96 to Lipscomb at home in conference when you're supposed to be playing a little bit of defense. 97 points to Austin P at home in a loss. And look at this. Austin P is 322nd in tempo. So you've got a team like Eastern Kentucky that's twice as fast against a team in Northern Florida that only wants to play fast, that plays no defense, and you're giving me Eastern Kentucky at home, 86.5. I get it. Eastern Kentucky themselves don't score a ton of points, but they've shown me that they can. One, they don't turn over the ball too much, 35th in turnover percentage. They're 163rd in offensive efficiency. But let's look at some of them. Their game logs. 76 points on the road to a Power 5 Louisville team, and you can't tell me you're not going to be able to score 87 tonight? Or they scored 80 points against Jacksonville State. They scored 81 against Eastern Illinois. They scored 98 against a non-D1 opponent, 86 against Chicago State. So these are all games that give me confidence. 83 points against, or 89, against Central Arkansas that took 2 overtimes, but they still were able to get there. That gives me confidence here to say, you know what? North Florida, they haven't shown me that they can stop anybody. The total's already moved on the overall over, so why don't we just isolate it to Eastern Kentucky at home today to score points. Florida's in the midst of a 4-game losing streak for North Florida, and like I said, you cannot ignore these numbers. 328 effective field goal percentage. They don't cause turnovers. They can't stop the 3-point ball. They give up a ton of 3-point attempts. This is going to be a good opportunity for Eastern Kentucky. They're favored at home as well today, so I see them pulling out the outright win. So we're going to lock this in as our 4th and final best bet of the day. So this is it for us here on the Free 3 today. Real quickly, our 3 official best bets. Eastern Kentucky over 86.5, minus 120 odds. We've got the under in Notre Dame and Penn State, 45.5. We got that at minus 113. And then we also did a 2-way teaser. We just took 6 points on Penn State to get that over a touchdown spread. And then we also took the under up a little bit as well for a little bit of extra cushion insurance. And keep in mind, guys, in the NFL, this 51.5 number is a key number. It is like the 4th highest number that games land on at 51. So that's why we also have taken the teaser, because we go through a key number of 7 here and then 51 here. So keep that in mind, all right? And then for the player prop inside this game, we're going to go with the quarterback for Notre Dame, Riley Leonard. Let me just pull that in while I got you guys here on the channel. We're gonna go. His rushing attempts is not even up on here just yet. I saw it on another book, so I'll wait till it pops up. But we'll go over 11.5 rushing attempts as the best bet of the day. All right, my friends. I appreciate y'all for tapping in this morning to the Free 3. It is your boy Noble Living. Please stay around. We're gonna just hop off so my video editor can get to work with everything, my friends, and then we're gonna just go through the slate of college basketball, NBA a little bit longer for another 30 minutes or so. All right. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. We're here on Twitch at Noble Living, DYF Bets on YouTube. Appreciate all the love and support. Let's have a bounce back day today. Let's enjoy the football, and let's manage the bankroll correctly, guys, because we got a lot of action. 5 straight games of football, or 5 days of football, not including basketball and NHL action. So let's choose our spots correctly, guys, and let's get to that cheddar, all right? Appreciate all the love and support, and as always, dictate your fate, get to that cheddar, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, and then also here on the live stream in about another minute or so, all right? Later, guys.